All right, hi team. I'm going to make a quick effort to explain this briefly. In the latest build, we have a new under Sharpen. We have a new HighPass Sharpen filter. Now, I'll first explain the historical way of doing this, and then show you the new Sharpen filter. So, historically, you would use the convolve, and let's see, it's here somewhere. HighPass gives you this requester. This has been updated to work in real time now. You can see what it does. It sort of has this gray background, and then around the edges you see either light or dark around the edges. It's sort of highlighting the difference between the edges. So we're going to use a small amount of that, like around there. Hit OK. I'll store a copy of that. Sorry for the noise today. I'll go back to the original. I might store a copy of that for later too. But I'm going to make a layer. Add that gray image on top of that. If I turn off the visibility, you'll see that gray layer is there. All right, so I'm going to go to that layer. I'm going to make this around gray. What that does is it takes the middle color to be gray. It subtracts 128 from the image. In the middle, gray becomes the new 0, and then everything below that becomes a negative number, and everything above that becomes a positive number. So you're basically working with a image that has both positive and negative attributes. So anyways, now if I turn this visibility off, you'll still see we have that high pass filter going. And what this does is it has the effect of sharpening our image. So I'll go ahead and merge that. I'll store a copy of that. And if we go back and forth, we can see the original and we can see the sharpening. You can see it has a somewhat sharpening effect. It does this basically because it's increasing the contrast around those edges where it leaves everything else more or less blank. Okay, so that is the old way. I'll go back to the original image. I'll go to Sharpen and HighPass Sharpen. And now you can see it just more or less does that for you. I'll change that window size. And you can see it's becoming, the edges are becoming more contrasty. Usually best to keep this around 2 or 3, and we have control over the level as well. Although if you really want to get some a bigger window in there, you can do that as well. There's nothing really wrong with that. So anyways, so that is the new way. And I will store a copy of that. Now some people will go to further measures to make sure some of the areas that have sharpened are that are under you don't want to sharpen, like you don't want to increase the sharpness around noise, and you can use like the rub through mode or something to go ahead and paint that out. So that's not a problem. So that's about it for now. Thanks for watching. But since I got you here, I think I'll go ahead and show you some other ways we can sharpen this. There's of course, or at least improve this. Let's see. There's local contrast. And there is also, let's see, adjust and histogram equalize. That has the effect of spreading out the this histogram, so it becomes more even. That doesn't necessarily make it a better image, but it is, logically sound anyway. So those are a few of the things you can do. And of course, there's also some of the traditional sharpen tools like digital photo enhance, which is basically an unsharp mask that takes place on the YUV or HSV channel. So those are a few ways you can sharpen an image and make it a little more, pop a little bit more. But one thing you want to keep in mind is that you'll often do this and you'll forget what the original image looks like, and you'll come back to it later and you'll say, wow, I put way too much sharpening on that thing. So what you want to do probably is to go back to the original and maybe only use about half of what you've done, or maybe a third, because it's almost always too much. So I'll use fade last action to achieve that. Went back to the original and faded that out quite a bit. So thanks for watching, and talk to you later.